Hi, it's Karen Sullivan here, a little bit late, but I am here nonetheless. Um, Welcome to the Sullivan household where our air conditioner is broken and it's 90 degrees out. So I've got an extra fan in here and I'm going to try to rush through this show because it is definitely cooler downstairs than it is in my office upstairs. But welcome to Life Health More, and my webpage is lifehealthmore.net. So I keep the same thing across the board, and you can always find me. The only exception is on YouTube. I am at Karen Sullivan. So welcome today. It is May, yay! And May is Food Month, and we're talking today about food groups. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm only doing kind of hitting the highlights, but trying to get you to understand about food. When we're making decisions about the foods that we're going to eat, you really have to seriously understand what is in the food, okay? What is the food? So we're doing 5 basic food groups. You have the grains and bread, okay? Breads and pastas and rice, okay? It includes also like oatmeals, quinoa, those sorts of things. But quinoa crosses over into the proteins, but we'll talk about that later. Then you have vegetables and legumes together, okay? Then you've got fruit. Then you have your dairy, which is all of your milk, yogurt, cheese, okay? Meat includes fish, poultry, and eggs and nuts is the protein, okay? So it's meat and protein, / protein, okay? So the important thing that you have to recognize is that you get vitamins from all kinds of foods that you eat. And many of the vitamins, especially like B vitamins, are in several of the food groups. And it's important to have the vitamin sourced from each of the different food groups. Okay, so you talk about in the breads and grains, you've got thiamine, niacin, riboflavin that are in the grains. All right, but then let's just go down the list, and then you have your vegetables, and it has vitamin A and folate, okay? Then you have in vitamins and minerals that are in your fruit, and especially vitamin C, okay? And the antioxidant properties in the fruits, important. Then you have, and the fourth one is your yogurt, milks, okay? The dairy group. You have vitamins and minerals, including A and B. So see, you've got A there. You also have A in your vegetables, so the fruits and vegetables both have it, okay? But you need a little bit from each group, okay? Then last but not least, your meats and your proteins. So there is iron, zinc, it helps with the red blood cells, the B vitamins, magnesium, and EPA and DHA. It's the only place really that you can get the omega-3s, although there are some omega-3s in plants like in avocados. So that said, we've got lots of different, the whole alphabet of vitamins and minerals that you can get into your body when you're eating everything, a little bit of everything, okay? So what happens when you don't? I never met people who didn't eat fish at all. I grew up on the East Coast, and we're seafood people. I mean, it's right there. A lot of times we would go down to the ocean, and we would be there, go hit in the restaurants, but especially when we stayed there, we'd go to the docks and get the fish as the boats came in from being fishing all day. Sometimes they would have their limit of everybody had gotten a tuna and there was an extra one, and the captain would take it and then have it filleted, cut up, sliced and diced. Either he would sell it whole to a restaurant, which is where we got our tuna when I worked at a restaurant down at 30th Street, Atlantic and 31st. Is that right? I believe so. Anyway, we're 30th. And so we were right at the ocean and get that. Nothing better in the world. But then I moved to Missouri, and I've met these people that don't eat seafood. You can't really get it fresh. You can. It's like caught the day before, flown in here. And that's really still good. That's how we get it. We've got a couple of seafood places that we hit, and that's how we get our seafood. But but most of the time it's frozen, it's sold in stores, or people have gone to, I mean, it's just not the same to get it out of a river. Especially, I don't think anybody eats the fish out of the Missouri um, or the Mississippi River. They're kind of browned. They really are. There's a lot of current. There's a lot of mud sort of stirred up. There's a lot of traffic in them. So it's really not because it's a intercoastal waterway. So you have big barges going up and down it. It's just not the place to get fish. So people here don't really eat fish. Rarely do I meet anybody that does. And then there's also that you have, now that's the generalization. Please, I know that there are some people that do and love it, okay? But then there are people who don't eat vegetables. I run across that also in my line of work and trying to get people to eat it. They might have fruits, but vegetables are a thing they don't eat. I have a couple of friends that both of their husbands, each person, their husband, when I have them over, I know not to bother really fussing a lot with a lot of fancy schmancy kind of vegetable dishes that I might do. And certainly not anything that would be like an eggplant parmesan, which is something I really like because I love eggplant. They wouldn't eat it, so I can't do that at all. And it's a little unusual to me because I like vegetables. So what happens when you don't eat the vegetables? Even though you can get some of the vitamins in the dairy or in the meats and in the fruits and the grains, you still need to get in the fruit and vegetable the vitamin C. That's a big one, is scurvy. Remember, if you've ever watched a movie or read a book that talks about when the crews were out to sea and everybody would get scurvy, or in the days when everybody was at colonial times and people didn't have any kind of green vegetables, any vegetables at all to eat, and they got scurvy and like their teeth would fall out, their gums would bleed. Well, that's a real thing. I mean, it really can happen if you're not consistent. I know that even in flossing, if you're not having enough vitamin C in your diet, that your gums will really bleed very badly. And you don't have to have any kind of a periodontal disease or any kind of an issue with your gums. It will, because you don't have the C, because you've got some effect, of scurvy kind of taking its place, or sneaking in, I should say. So then there's anemia, and the GI tract can be all deteriorating from not having the vitamins that you need. Depression and confusion, is a lack of B6 can be cause of depression and confusion. Night blindness, if you're not getting your vitamin A, and hemorrhaging if you're not getting any K. And so these things show that there is a real risk of illness, some sort of imbalance, and it can eventually come into a disease, where you have GI tract problems. You can get weight gain. You can have heart disease begin to build into our bodies. And the last and most horrible one is the big C. Your body needs to have everything in place so that it can fight anything that comes down the pike, so that your immune system is strong and that you're feeling good and healthy and well. Now, I want to tell you that said, it is literally impossible, even if you are eating all of the food groups, to get quantities that you need to get that of each of the different vitamins that you need, according to like the World Health Organization and the FDA, when they say you need this many milligrams, when they talk about the minimum daily dosage, it's massive amounts of food. And I have posted on this site before about that. That is why it's so important to get a quality supplement for your diet. And I'm not talking running to Walmart or Walgreens. I'm talking about something that has true, real science behind it. So I encourage you to go to my webpage, or actually to my affiliate page, and it's lifehealthmore.myshackley.com. And I will put that in the description of this presentation today to remind you, you need to go and take a look at that. If you do, go fill out the HealthPrint. And really, don't blow me off, guys. I wouldn't tell you this if it wasn't something that's really important. It really is important to try and get the best that you can for your body. Let's give yourself a fighting chance in this world that is all full of contaminants and all kinds of problems, and food that doesn't have the nutrition in it. I want you to be the very best version of yourself. And so take the time, fill out the HealthPrint at lifehealthmore.myshackley.com, and I'll call you. We'll talk about it and see what you might be able to do. Could be just one easy step in making things better for you. Thanks for joining me today. I'm sorry it is a short program, but it is hot outside and my house is really warm. So he's working on the air conditioner now and should be up and running soon. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Be well.